Happy Monday, and welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show. Of course, coming to you live from Studio K, presented by Circle K. Make sure you join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. I am Anthony Totri, joined as always by old dog legs here, Erik. Ruby. We got the deli man behind the Mac making all of the magic happen. Ben, already in the chat. Happy Monday to you. Ben, make sure you hit that like button, you hit the subscribe button, and you drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts.
So Rubus, YouTube is just doing this, huh? We're just keeping the ads?
I guess it's just doing this.
Yeah. So
this sucks.
Here's the thing. It does, but we will adjust, and it is for the better. No. Because yes, it is, because we've had multiple instances where people create accounts, and sometimes it's funny, haha, Erik Ruby's burner, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes it's not, and sometimes they impersonate other people. So this is a way you can't do that now. So eventually, it's going to be good.
No more.
And
burners.
you can also change your at. It's really easy to do. Just Google it. So if you don't like your at right now,
change it to at Erik Ruby's burner.
I'm gonna just change mine to that.
Mine is at the Deli Boy.
Is it? Oh, yeah, it is at the Deli Boy. Well, Deli Boy and old dog legs, we got a lot to get into today. Some Big 12 quarterback news. You got a Big 12 QB
God. Sharon's
on the move.
Skittle 128. I love that one.
Potential 2025 preseason All-Big 12 football team. Should expect an announcement from the conference on that, whether that be on July 1st or July 2nd. I anticipate that happening relatively soon, considering you got Big 12 Media Day next week. Rubus, we will explore the 6-ish players that are going to be representing ASU in Frisco, Texas. Should be a lot of fun. And then EA announced a new video game.
Wow.
A really, really fun video game that I know Shane is going to be really excited to play, but at that time, we'll all be older. We'll all be so much older by the time that game comes out.
I will be wed.
You'll be wed at that point?
I'll be wed by the time the game comes out.
Breaking news?
Well,
yeah, breaking news.
I know that's breaking news.
You're anticipating
breaking
being wed.
Anticipation of being wed by 2028.
However,
things can go wrong.
Yeah.
We know that. I'm kind of a nasty guy.
Yeah. Nasty boy.
And my stock went down after this weekend too.
So we've heard.
Yeah. Do you want to dive into that story at any point? Maybe we'll do a trending later.
Trending pod. Why the deli and stock?
Why the deli was closed this weekend?
the deli was shot.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's tough.
Rest in peace, deli man.
Yeah, that's tough. That is tough. Not as tough as I'm not even gonna make a joke. I'm not even gonna make a joke about it.
Whoa.
I'm not even gonna make a joke.
That's not.
Wow.
BYU's Jake Retzlaff set to reportedly transfer from BYU.
Not as tough as the current quarterback room there.
There you go. Reportedly set to transfer from BYU. Because a looming suspension.
Yeah.
I believe a 7-game suspension for violating the program's honor code. More specifically, I don't know how many of you guys have been following the Jake Retzlaff situation with I believe it's the sexual assault, alleged sexual assault at BYU. That case was dropped. However, the suspension is still from violating the honor code. Which in the honor code at BYU, you're not allowed to do the deed. So Retzlaff, if he stayed there, would ultimately miss the majority of the season. How do you think this, just impacts BYU before we get to the overarching? How does this impact Arizona State? How does this impact the rest of the Big 12? I
think even before we get that, there are some people who are now ready to go at the woman in this case, and if you're doing that, you need to stop and look in the mirror.
I have no idea why the case was dropped,
and that's the thing, right? there's a lot of layers to this, and it's all alleged. And so I'm not going to go out here and say Jake Retzlaff did this, and even though it was dropped, he still did that. But also, just because it was dropped, it doesn't mean that it didn't happen. So I just want people, when they're approaching this, to approach it with, caution, and also like, and this might be hard to ask the internet to do, but like compassion.
Yeah, the internet one.
Nuance.
You're asking the wrong group of individuals
I know,
to do that.
Just because this was dropped from that does not mean that A, it did not happen. It does not mean that B, that this woman was lying about it, or whatever it might be. It could mean that they settled outside of court, whatever it is. No laughing matter at all, and that goes beyond football. So I want to put that out there, because I think a lot of the times these things can be strewed into different ways that it shouldn't.
So looking at the roster right now, yes, Trayson is still there.
Yeah.
But they have an Enoch.
No.
Yep.
Is it the Enoch Bawache?
No. It's a running back.
Huh.
But they have an Enoch on their roster.
I think with the whole quarterback situation at BYU, obviously, like I think Satake is doing what he feels is best for the program. They're upholding the standard that they have at BYU in the honor code. I mean, that's a tough situation at this point, like strictly talking football, to lose your starting quarterback, to lose a returning starting quarterback at that. In this conference, when BYU had a really, really solid season.
They were a top 10 team for a lot of last year. I mean, they were the team that, for the last probably like 6 weeks of the season, it was, oh man, like, will BYU
they'll
pull it off,
be in the Big 12
right?
championship game.
And then obviously they collapsed, right? And part of that is a loss to Arizona State, the loss to Kansas. Like they got in their own way, right? And for this, I'm not necessarily like the highest on Jake Retzlaff as a player, putting everything else aside, but he was certainly their best option at quarterback. He was returning for them, and for them as a team, like to lose the most important position at the end of June, beginning of July. Spring ball's over. Like, you're not going to get, I don't think, a starting quarterback just out of thin air.
Yeah.
Right. So this does, as far as football goes, which is the least important part of this, but obviously it impacts Arizona State. Like it makes a very big difference in the makeup of the top of the Big 12.
Yeah.
I think the Big 12, one of the top 4 teams. I mean, BYU for a lot of people was ranked above Arizona State in their preseason top 25s, right? Like we had
some of them for sure.
We were talking a lot of crap about people for putting BYU one spot ahead.
Yeah, it was BYU, Kansas State, and Arizona State usually were the 3.
I think this drops BYU out of the top 25. I think this drops BYU out of contention for the Big 12 championship, obviously barring an unforeseen quarterback emerging for them. This is a big blow to their program.
Yeah, no, 100%. And again, some people mentioning it in the chat. Trenton Bourguet and Coben Bourguet's brother, Trayson Bourguet, it feels like is the natural kind of progression. I don't know, again, how deep that quarterback room is at BYU.
You also have to think the experience he had in the MAC already is like really valuable
as a starter.
Yeah,
right. As somebody that played a significant games,
comparable to the Big 12.
Yeah. Yes. So I wouldn't be shocked if Trayson Bourguet ultimately started for BYU. And not a knock on Trayson Bourguet in his playing career in the MAC, but like Retzlaff again was in this system last year. He had game reps in the Big 12. Despite our opinions on him as a player, I know there were a lot of people that were pretty high. It's still pretty high on Jake Retzlaff as an actual quarterback. So I think this certainly hurts their chances. I think in reality, like we talk about the team as a whole, but like this is going to hurt all of the guys on that roster. That hurts LJ Martin at running back. That hurts Chase Roberts at wide receiver. Like that hurts, what Satake was trying to build and a natural progression from last year to this year. And that's not just a Retzlaff thing. That's like if you look at any of the teams with a pretty new head coach at that specific university, take Arizona State, for example, if Sam would have just up and left in the transfer portal, like then that would have certainly stunted the growth of this program the way that I think it's going to stunt BYU's now and likely the near future.
Yeah, I don't think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the Big 12, but he certainly was a serviceable one. He had the potential to go out and win you a game. Most of the time he was going to be managing it. His stats for the 2024 season, he completed 213 of 368 attempts, 57.9% completion percentage, almost 3,000 yards, 8 yards per attempt, 20 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. He had a quarterback rating of 136.6. Like his rushing as well, 100 carries for 417 yards. That's just over 4 per carry, 6 touchdowns. Like this was a dual threat quarterback for them. This was somebody who was one of the more potent offensive weapons. He's somebody that you craft an offense around.
Yeah.
So losing him, whether you don't like him as a quarterback or not, he was legitimately like their surefire starter. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Oh, yeah.
A surefire starter on what most people consider to be a top 25 or fringe top 25 team. So you go to your backup. I like what Sitake is doing over there. I think that as far as like a team goes, they have a very solid team. But can you go in there as a backup quarterback and compete on the same level? I don't think instantly, right? Maybe by the end of the season it is Trayson or it is Enoch or one of these people, they step up, right? And they end up being a serviceable to above average starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Right? That's not going to happen week 1.
No.
And we saw how their end of season slide cost them a chance at the Big 12 championship last year. If they start the season slow and they lose 2 or 3 games, like that's going to screw them over. And I don't know what their schedule looks like either, but if they've got a tough couple of games off the bat, like that's going to be a really, really tough learning curve. They don't, because they're playing Portland State, Stanford, and East Carolina. But after that, Colorado, West Virginia, Arizona, actually they got a pretty light first 6 weeks until you get to Utah, Iowa State, Texas Tech, TCU in a 4-game stretch. So there might be a little bit of runway as far as learning curve goes. But I think that this drops BYU down to a question mark, probably best case middle of the pack in the Big 12 with everything else, and leaves a top tier of Arizona State competitors one team short.
Yeah, 100%. Arizona State, Kansas State, and Texas Tech, just again, strictly from the football side of things, this is welcome news that Jake Retzlaff is leaving.
Yeah. I think even for teams like Baylor and TCU, Kansas State, like these more fringe top tier teams, they just earned a spot up, and that 1 game or 2 game difference in teams that play BYU this year
is going to make a difference.
Like Iowa State plays BYU, right? Colorado, their first Big 12 game, they'll probably get the worst version of BYU. It could really shake things up for sure.
And I think Will had said it earlier in the chat, like at this point, you're not going to find a starting level quarterback in the transfer portal. And you can add players that are still in the transfer portal. Technically, you're not allowed to enter the transfer portal window isn't open for players to like just leave and then enter. Like it doesn't work like that. So I'm really curious to see how the NCAA handles this situation.
So yes, very, very surface level research. On this. So I'll do some more during the show, and if I find something, I'll let you know. But it seems like there's a special window for him because of the suspension.
Yeah.
Because BYU is operates as their own power. It seems like that, but we'll see.
Which makes life easier in theory for Retzlaff to land with another school, but it makes life for BYU still as hard as it would be. You're losing your starting quarterback. You can't add guys that aren't already in the transfer portal. So it's not like there's going to be a quarterback that sees this that's like, oh, I want to go to BYU, and then he's just going to magically enter the transfer portal. Like it sucks for BYU fans because knowing BYU, seeing how BYU has operated athletically over the last 2 seasons, specifically when it comes to NIL, we know that if this was a situation that had occurred during the spring window, that they would have certainly thrown out some money to go get a starting caliber quarterback, right? There were some of those guys on the market after the season. There were some of those guys on the market during spring ball. So that sucks for the BYU fan base ultimately in the program as a whole. Like you're not going to be able to replace that. But this is just kind of the nature of the situation. And again, for Big 12 contenders, your path to a Big 12 championship just got a lot easier in 2025, guys.
Yeah, theoretically, for sure. I mean, nobody thought that Sam Leavitt was going to be a great quarterback for Arizona State going into last year. And what helped,
I think there were some that thought he was going to be really good.
But I'm saying from
not to have the year that he did.
I'm not even just talking about us here. I'm talking about Big 12, right? Big 12 media. As much as we want to make these assumptions about BYU, the same way that people assumed about Arizona State last year or whatever, we're not there. We don't cover the team. We don't see the practices.
They don't have a Sam Leavitt on their roster.
But, I think that if you, and I don't disagree with you, but just to play devil's advocate here, I think that if you asked, I know that if you asked a majority of Big 12 media last year, if Arizona State had one of the better quarterbacks in the Big 12, they'd be like, well, there's a quarterback competition between Sam Leavitt and Jeff Sims. So probably not. right? So maybe at the end of the day, BYU, because of their coaching infrastructure, because of their team, like it wasn't just Retzlaff last year. Like their defense won them games. Like their receivers won them games. Like they have a good infrastructure for whoever steps in there. That maybe this doesn't end up having as big of a football impact.
Do you genuinely believe that, or are you just strictly playing devil's advocate?
I said maybe. I think there's a chance. I think there's a chance that BYU itself like has a good enough infrastructure for it to be fine. I think probably their overall ceiling is lower and their floor is lower.
How many games does this cost them?
If they had a tougher non-con, I'll say this costs them their ability to beat teams like Iowa State and Texas Tech. For sure. I think those are games that going into at Iowa State, at Texas Tech.
Who do they have? Let's just read out their schedule.
Okay, so Portland State first week. I think they still beat Portland State. I think they can still beat Stanford.
I think that's more of a game now. I wouldn't sleep on. I wouldn't sleep on Stanford. Not just Luck as the GM, but what's it called? Frank Wright as the head coach, former NFL head coach.
I mean, Stanford is not a walk in the park. I would not say that they are.
At BYU or at Stanford?
That's at BYU. Okay. I just think that going into it from a team that was top 10 at a certain point last year is returning a lot of talent. I think that I would still give them a win over. I think they go undefeated in non-con still.
Who's that third game?
East Carolina.
Sure.
So at least 2 wins in non-con.
Okay.
Right. Then you're playing Colorado week 4.
Which now turns to a toss-up to me.
It's at Colorado. I think Colorado now wins that game.
Probably wins that game.
Because it's at Colorado. Then you take on West Virginia at home.
You should probably win that game.
You should probably win that game, but again, I think
that's a much closer game now.
Again, becomes much more of a toss-up. Then you're at Arizona, easy dub. Then you take on Utah at home.
Probably an L.
Right. Then you're on the road at Iowa State, on the road at Texas Tech. 2 L's. With Retzlaff, those are games that you could win. Without him, I don't think you could win that. Unless at that point you're 6 weeks in, 7 weeks in at that point, and if your quarterback that steps in, whether it's Trayson or whoever it is just like, okay, this person is doing well and is settled in at that point, like you're midpoint to the season, right? Then after at Iowa State, at Texas Tech, you take on TCU
probably
at home,
an L.
Probably an L. At Cincinnati, I think you can win that game.
But I think Cincinnati's a better team this year. I think Cincinnati wins that game.
I mean, they have a better quarterback for sure.
I mean, again, we're talking like things that'll happen 5 months from
right,
now.
And then UCF at home is the final game. I mean, they have a pretty tough stretch there. Utah, Iowa State, Texas Tech, TCU. If you want to throw Cincinnati in there, you can, but I think those 4 teams are more in the same category. So they have a really tough 4-week stretch. Outside of that, Portland State, Stanford, East Carolina, Colorado, West Virginia, Arizona, Cincinnati, UCF.
I mean, we're
not a killer schedule.
No, it's not a killer schedule, but I still think now we're talking about a team that is going to be fringe going bowling at this point. We were talking about a team that was Big 12 contender to
I think they could still. I think they're still a bowl team. I think they're still.
But they're on that's on the cusp now.
I hear you.
Because I think losing your starting quarterback, you are a worse team than Cincinnati now. Losing your starting quarterback.
Agreed. Yeah.
And that's again, like, say what you want about Brendan Sorsby. I think Brendan Sorsby and Cincinnati are going to be a much better team. But ultimately, guys, let us know in the chat how you think Jake Retzlaff and his impending transfer out of BYU is going to impact the rest of the Big 12. And on the other side of this break, we're going to be talking about some Sun Devils that you might be seeing sooner rather than later on the 2025 preseason All-Big 12 football team. That and more on the other side of this quick break. Look, we do have Big 12 Media Day right around the corner. We're going to be doing live shows over in Frisco, Texas. I would highly, highly recommend, because those are going to be some amazing shows, that you get yourself some pure edibles to just enjoy all the fun. I had some watching the UFC fights, and I'll tell you, that was an absolute blast.
Which one's
over the weekend? The uplifting, of course. Uplift, like, come on.
Oh, he punched him in the face!
It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. Look, Pure Edibles, they're founded in Arizona, and they're available in 130 dispensaries statewide. My personal favorite part about Pure Gummies is, of course, that they're not covered in sugar like all of their competitors, but they don't lose any flavor. It still tastes like candy. Of course, they offer gummies, kicks, their version of Starburst chews, soft candies like caramel, and then hard candies as well. Now, Pure Gummies, they are designed to be ripped or bit in half, making them easy to share and super easy to dial in your exact dose. Make sure you go find yourself some Pure Edibles products from one of the over 130 dispensaries across Arizona.
Man, I love Brandon Bills hats. I actually gifted my father a Brandon Bills hat. Well, I ordered it for him for Father's Day. It was delayed a little bit, and so I got it to him over the weekend. He threw it on his head, and I'm like, that's my favorite hat. It was the PHNX hat.
There you go.
The PHNX Brandon Bills crossover.
Breathable.
It is my favorite hat. My biggest problem though now is that like I only wear like the Brandon Bills hats.
You have
like,
a
when
lot
I go
of
out,
those hats,
and I've been wearing them like when I go work out because they're so breathable. The fabric is so good that it's just like, man, like now I can like sweat in them. Guess what? I just throw them in the washer and they're fine. There's no problem when it comes to Brandon Bills hats. But you get snapback truckers, fitted beanies, or tees. Brandon Bills has you covered with performance and style, partnerships with fantastic schools like Arizona State University, and then they do charity work, the University of Arizona. I would used to lump in the Phoenix Suns there, but we're back, baby.
We're back.
You also have a partner with the Phoenix Suns there. Local company out of Mesa, Arizona. Best part is head to BrandonBills.com. Use code BBPHNX for 15% off your first order. That's BBPHNX at BrandonBills.com for 15% off your first order.
Okay, I figured out why he'd be allowed to transfer with no punishment.
Okay.
Because he's already graduated.
Oh, he's a grad transfer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he'd be a grad transfer.
Then that'll work. And you wouldn't have to sit out. And players in the again, once you're in the portal, schools can add you. So interesting.
There's the only so apparently in the last 24 hours, there's been a lot of rumors that he already has a school picked out.
Mind?
That the school's already contacted him and they desperately needed a quarterback. But all the schools that I've seen have been BYU schools that he's been linked to, or Big 12 schools that he's been linked to. I've seen Utah, which would be hilarious.
I don't see that happening.
I don't see that happening either. I've seen Baylor.
Not happening.
Which, again, why would they do that? If he's
we're talking about teams that theoretically have better quarterbacks already on the roster.
Exactly. If he stays in the Big 12.
I'm trying to think of like a Big 12 team that he could go to that would...
Where would he, genuinely, just football-wise, where would he start?
In the Big 12?
In the Big 12. He's not starting Colorado?
He'd start at Colorado.
I don't know.
He'd start at Colorado for a year.
But I don't know if they'd want him to.
No, I don't think so. I don't think there's a point. Maybe.
Yeah. Not TCU.
Not TCU, not Texas Tech, not Iowa State, not Utah. He's not going to start at Arizona. He's not going to start at Cincinnati. UCF?
Maybe. I think there's a chance that he could beat out Dampier. I just don't know.
I don't see Whittingham doing that.
No, absolutely not.
It's definitely going to be an interesting...
He's not going to start at Kansas State. He's not going to start at Kansas.
No, he's...
Oklahoma State.
Maybe Oklahoma State.
UCF and West Virginia.
Those are the only three that I see.
Maybe Colorado as far as football goes, but I don't think Colorado does that because they have the Liberty quarterback and then they have their 5-star guy.
What if he transfers to Stanford? It's not a Big 12 school.
Transferred?
But he goes as a grad transfer, play at a school in California.
He's from California.
Andrew Luck's the GM. You got yourself a former NFL head coach and OC running that program now. And you get to play BYU week 2.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's all speculation at this point. All speculation at this point. But I don't know. I wanted to get to something. You said you were totally bought back into the Phoenix Suns. I just want to make sure we have that.
It's optimism.
You had a week of hopium.
Is that what it was? High off hopium.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm I don't think they're going to be a great team, but I'm at least excited about
just until LeBron James gets traded to them.
I mean, listen, man, Bradley Beal for LeBron James works
straight up, and a couple second-round picks.
I mean, they're sending us picks at this point.
Wow. Bronny's a part of that deal, though.
I mean, it has to be. Right? Throw in Nick Richards. They get Beal. We'll get Bron and Bronny.
And the draft rights to
Bryce James.
Boom. They're going to get DeAndre Ayton. So it's going to be the Luka and the DeAndre
Who's getting DA?
The Lakers.
The Lakers?
Lakers are
so
getting
gross, dude.
and Chris Paul.
No, Chris Paul's here.
He's coming home.
Bron and Bronny traded for Beal and Richards. Chris Paul on a vet min. The Phoenix Suns are the 6th seed in the Western Conference, baby. We're back.
Oh, my goodness. The hopium with the Phoenix Suns. Look, getting back to ASU, like we said, you do have Big 12 Media Day right around the corner. And usually about a week before Big 12 Media Day is when the preseason All-Big 12 football team and the preseason teams are announced, the preseason media poll, excuse me. That's obviously not a thing anymore.
They
but
gave up after last year.
Preseason all Big 12 football team, if we're just being consistent, if the conference is being consistent, should come out either tomorrow or Wednesday at this point. So we've got a list of a couple Arizona State Sun Devils that you might see or could potentially be on that 2025 preseason All-Big 12 football team. Something to keep in mind, it's just one team. There isn't a second team or a third team like Mr. Phil Steele did. It's just one team.
Dude, still thinking about subscribing to Phil Steele Plus.
Yeah, you're still thinking about it?
I can't stop thinking about Phil Steele Plus.
Yeah. Well, I stopped the moment the show stopped, but haven't stopped thinking about, again, the potential Sun Devils that you might see on that list, starting with wide receiver Jordyn Tyson. We know one of the best wide receivers in all of college football. Shimon Mateer, tight end. He was a second team All Big 12 tight end last year at the end of the year. Of course, Sam Leavitt at quarterback. This is going to be interesting. As we know, this is the quarterback conference in the Big 12. Safety Xavion Alford. I would expect full certainty to see him on that list when it does ultimately come out. Ben Coleman along the offensive line might be an interesting name to keep an ear to. Keyshawn Elliott at linebacker for ASU. Wouldn't be shocked if we saw him. And then CJ Fight up front on the Arizona State D line. Rubus, realistically, I think these are all guys that we could see and you could make an argument for that could make the actual 2025 preseason All Big 12 football team. There's 7 guys on that list. How many of them do you actually think make that list?
I think Jordyn Tyson and X are locks. And I'm looking at this from like an outside media perspective, not from what I would say.
Okay.
But from like
outside media
because this is not Erik Ruby's. Just subscribe to Erik Ruby Plus for his Big 12 preseason media first team.
What's the monthly subscription?
$2,000.
Yeah, no, I'm good on that.
Okay, I'll give you a deal.
No, it's okay.
$250 a month.
I'm good.
Okay. I think if I'm looking at it from an outside perspective, I don't think Sam Leavitt gets it.
Remember, there's just one quarterback.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And I don't think they're going to give it to Leavitt, even though I think that's wrong.
Who do you think they give it to? No way it's Sawyer, right? No way we're that high on the hopium that we think that Sawyer Robertson is going to be QB1.
Phil Steele's?
It was Sawyer. Sawyer and Avery Johnson.
And Johnson, I think it's one of those two.
Really?
I don't want. Maybe they pick Sam because they saw Sam up close and personal.
I think it's Sam or Avery.
Yeah,
I think it's Sam.
You think it's Sam?
I hope it's Sam. I don't think he's a lock though.
If it's the media,
I don't think he's a lock now.
If it's the media poll, I think it's Sam.
I don't think he's a lock. I think Jordyn Tyson's a lock. I think X is a lock. I think other than that, everybody else is kind of up in the air. I think Sam Leavitt probably next in line as far as most likely to get it. I don't want to put Ben Coleman last because you're going to say that I hate on Ben Coleman, but I do think that media is going to be like, oh, well, he
5 offensive linemen. Is he one of the 5 best linemen in the conference?
I think he is, but are they going to say, well, he's playing center and he hasn't played center before? Like, are they?
Yeah, but they don't just put center. They don't like it's just 5 linemen.
That's fair. If we're just going 5 linemen, then he's absolutely he's there. I wouldn't put him as a lock from a media perspective, but for me, I'd put him there. I think Keyshawn Elliott's probably off. I think Shimon got first team last year, so I think that's interesting.
Shimon got second team last year.
I thought it was first.
I'm pretty sure he got second team last year.
No. He got second?
I'm pretty sure he got all Big 12 second team. Yeah, I think that's the...
I'll look at that real quick. But I think as far as locks go, it's Jordyn Tyson and X. I think they're in a category of their own as like...
And again, there's 4 wide receivers that get picked.
Floored if either of those two are not first team.
Check, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong too. We always say, like last year was the Big 12 was the running back conference.
He was second team, yeah.
This year, it feels...
I know my stuff.
It almost feels like it's the quarterback conference.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what it definitely isn't? Is the tight end conference.
No.
We are tight end U, though.
Yeah. We are specifically. We're the whole conference tight end. I think you could make a case that all 3 of the tight ends at Arizona State could have starting jobs somewhere in the Big 12.
Which is crazy. Am I wrong? I can't think of another good tight end from last year.
Jalen? Jalen was a good tight end last year.
Yeah.
At Tech.
No, he's Miami.
Wasn't there
was
there a Utah guy that...
Keithy? Well, Keithy got hurt.
Yeah. He was fun, though.
Yeah.
Before he got
really
hurt.
good.
Yeah. He's not there anymore, right? He ran out of eligibility, landed somewhere.
If he still has eligibility, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Iowa State was all their wide receivers. That was them. I don't know. But...
I think Shimon has the potential to do it. There's only one tight end on that list.
Any position where it's just one, it becomes a lot harder.
There is a fullback, which Arizona State doesn't have to my knowledge, but there are 2 running backs on the list. I would be kind of surprised if we saw
some preseason love for Kanye.
There was some preseason love for Kanye, but I don't know if there's going to be like.
Well, who's left as far as premier running backs? Because RJ Harvey's gone.
I think Dylan Edwards is going to get a lot of love at Kansas State.
Ishmael Mahdi?
I think Ishmael Mahdi gets love.
I don't know if it's first team Big 12 love, though.
But that's like because everybody left at that position pretty much in the conference.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it's like I think you could put Mahdi and Udo. I think those are in a relatively similar category as far as new guys who had success somewhere else. But
or you go with Kyson.
I think technically, I don't think Kyson gets it just because of the raw numbers from last year and because Udo's on the team. And I'm not saying that Kanye or that Kyson's not going to start, but I think if you're going to preseason get the media to pick one, I think Kanye is going to be that guy. I wonder what was Ishmael Mahdi's numbers from last year.
He didn't have the numbers that you thought he might have.
And that's kind of.
But the year prior, he had ridiculous numbers. And we know, like, we watched him up close and personal. We know how good of a back he is. He was the guy that I like when the portal was going on IS. He was looking to add another running back. I was all in. Give me Ishmael Mahdi. Because he's that talented. But like you said, Kanye is just as talented.
And he was an All-American running back.
So like, it is what it is. I think that is going to be one of the more interesting positions to look for on this all-conference team.
That's probably the biggest difference for a position from one year to the next. Like, to go from...
Yeah, because it's not really like... And I guess it'd be kind of ridiculous to say that, you can't control it, but like, individually... what you do is so much off of how the entire offense flows and your offensive line. Like,
he almost had 1,000 yards last year.
Still averaged 5.5 yards per carry.
I mean, 183 carries, 991 yards, four touchdowns, which is tough. 5.4 yards, and then if you look at, I don't think either Kanye or Ishmael are going to get the nod, but Kanye, 10 touchdowns, 1,117 yards and 179 carries, 6.2 per average. If you're going to pick a new addition running back to be first team, it'd be Kanye. Out of all the names that aren't on that list, that's most likely, I guess, to get the nod, it might be him. I mean, you're over 1,000-yard rusher, for Army, who had a good season last year. I don't know who Dylan Edwards is probably the name as far as like
I don't see any other running backs in this conference that like are returners unless I'm blanking.
Utah bringing the running back? What was his name?
I don't think so.
He was old,
right?
He was,
all of them were old.
Yeah.
No, he had been there for a while, I believe.
Yeah.
But like, he's gone, Cam's gone, Corey Kiner's gone, DJ Giddens is gone,
RJ
Harvey's gone. Ollie Gordon's gone. Taj Brooks is gone.
Cam Scadaboo's gone.
I already said Scad.
Oh, you did? Okay.
They're all gone.
Well, he's gone twice.
They're all in the NFL, right? So like, I don't see like a clear cut returner at that position that is going to ultimately like just run away with it. So I think running back's going to be interesting.
Sam Leavitt's the best running back in the Big 12.
He might be. He might just be. I think when you look on the defensive side of the ball, like there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defensive linemen that get picked for this. I could see CJ Fight certainly being one of those names up there.
Yeah, CJ might be the biggest miss for me as far as like who I think could be a certified. With that many names, I'd be shocked if he's off there.
Yeah, I don't see anybody else from the D-line probably making it. Given what we've seen preseason wise from the respect or the disrespect, I would say around the ASU corners, I don't think Javen Robinson and Keith Abney will be on that list. I think ultimately
make them mad in the best way possible.
I think Keith should be, but I don't see them ultimately getting that kind of love. Again, you don't think Keyshawn Elliott is going to be on that list. I think there's a chance. I think there's a chance, as there is all those guys.
Yeah, right, I think all of them have a chance. You never know who the rest of the media is high on. I think it's fun that we can go like 10 names deep and be like, yeah, they have a chance.
No, 100%. There are 3 other awards that I would like to just quickly go over as this comes out with the preseason All-Big 12 football team. You've got Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and then Newcomer of the Year. Last year, the Offensive Player of the Year in the preseason. Does anybody want to guess?
Avery Johnson.
Do you want to guess, Deli Man?
Sorry, the Player of the Year preseason.
The player
Offensive Player of the
yeah.
Year.
Offensive Player
In the
of
Big
the
12.
Year in the Big 12. Probably Avery, but let's go something sneaky like
Travis Hunter.
Oh, you know who it probably was? It was Ollie Gordon.
It was Ollie Gordon.
Yeah.
Ollie Gordon the second was the Offensive Player of the Year in the preseason. Defensive Player of the Year.
Travis Hunter.
That's probably it. Yeah.
It's Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Newcomer of the Year. I'll be pretty surprised if you guys got this.
Is it somebody that was actually good?
No.
What school?
It'll give it away.
What position? Let it give it away too.
Kind of. I'll give you a hint. This school geographically does not make sense.
To be in the Big 12?
Correct.
Like, is it a new school?
It was
UCF?
Yeah.
KJ Jefferson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was KJ Jefferson.
Dude, KJ.
It was the Newcomer of the Year.
Hey, to be fair though, I thought he was going to be really good too.
I think a lot of us thought he was going to be good.
Offensive Player of the Year this year. Who do we think it's going to be?
Sam.
You think it's going to be Sam?
Or Jordyn.
I think it'll be Sam or Jordyn as well.
I think it's Jordyn.
Yeah. Defensive Player of the Year.
Travis Hunter.
Can ASU just get a clean sweep on these awards?
I mean, I think X has a chance.
I think he has a chance.
I don't think it will be him.
I don't see them putting two on the same team though as offensive.
Is there some SEC edge rusher that transferred to
Texas Tech? Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Probably.
There it is.
One of the tech transfers.
Newcomer of the Year. Could we see Kanye?
I think maybe Kanye. You're betting on somebody who had over 1,000 yards.
There's so many transfers. I don't even want to try.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's definitely going to be interesting to see all this play out over hopefully the next couple of days to feed Rubus some content before Big 12 Media Day. Guys, make sure you hit that like button, you hit the subscribe button. If you haven't already, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Speaking of Big 12 Media Day, we've got the names of who is going to be joining us in Frisco, Texas, and we'll tell you exactly who they are on the other side of this quick break.
You see, all these times we've talked to you about APS and the smart thermostat, and I tell you, it's like, oh, well, you can use your smartphone to adjust your thermostat to save money, lower cost off peak hours, manage your energy bills. And that's the responsible thing to tell you about it. But let me tell you how I use this over the weekend. I was laying in bed and I was warm. And instead of having to get up and go turn down my AC, I pulled out my phone with my smart thermostat and I turned it down to the temperature
Smarter,
I
not
wanted
harder.
to be, and I did not have to get up. Listen, as much as I love saving money because half of your energy costs come from cooling and heating, as much as I love making sure that I'm not looking at my bill at the end of the month and sweating, literally I really enjoyed the fact that I was grabbing my phone and turning it down, and I thought to myself, I gotta bring this up on the show. It's just one of the many ways that a smart thermostat could help you, and you might be eligible if you're an APS customer for a smart thermostat for as low as $0 when you enroll in the APS Cool Rewards program. If you already have a smart thermostat at home, see if it's eligible to enroll in Cool Rewards. Find instant rebates, discounts, special offers on smart thermostats, energy efficient appliances, and more at marketplace.aps.com. Must be an APS customer, pay shipping and taxes. Other restrictions apply, and go to marketplace.aps.com for more information.
Like, this ad break is all about home improvement. Rubus just told you how you can cool your home. I'm telling you about the floors that you can put in your home, or even better, that you can have somebody else install into your home. That is, of course, Empire Today. Look, we've all been to sporting events with a home field, home ice, home court, etc., and your personal home is no different. You need to have great flooring. In Empire Today, they've got flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals who focus on flooring every single day. Of course, there are the big box stores that it doesn't feel like they have those flooring experts. Not many folks do. Of course, you go to the big box stores, you have the questions, you're wandering for hours, and then ultimately when you get home, you got to do it yourself. That's not the case when it comes to Empire Today, because of course they live and breathe flooring. And right now, schedule a free in-home estimate today, because some things are just better at home. PHNX listeners can receive a $350 discount when using that promo code PHNX. Yes, a $350 discount with code PHNX. Restrictions apply. Visit EmpireToday.com/PHNX for full details. Sharon in chat asking, Shane, are you going to go to Frisco? It's going to be less awesome without your vlogs if you're not there.
Yeah, sadly, I will not be able to attend. I'm very upset about it.
But he's got a credential if he changes his mind.
Yeah.
Like, just in case.
Yeah.
In Frisco,
I became too important at my job.
Yeah, literally. It will be Rubus, myself, and then the kittens.
The U of A guys.
The Tucson kittens will be joining us.
Whoa.
That was a good one, huh?
Should be fun. Should be a fun
It'll
trip.
be a good time.
First time that we've been, we're touching back down in Texas.
Back in the
back,
state
baby.
that we built.
We did build it.
PHNX Sun Devils owns Texas.
We own Texas.
Yes.
Happy Free Ed Monday. I just got a Dave and Buster's text again.
It's Free Ed Monday? Was this one from Dave? Because Buster has passed, right? Just confirming.
I have to figure out which one died. That's no, the D&B merch shop is live.
Wow.
They have merch now? That screams
We also have
Dillingham.
merch. Get your hashtag alignment shirt.
Hey, yeah, get your hashtag alignment shirt. And my birthday is on Thursday, so
yeah.
if you guys want to
Yeah,
get
spool
anything.
Should we
party.
get you a shirt? Is that what you're
sold?
saying?
I think that might be sold out.
Is
Go check
two
online.
tickets left.
Two tickets left.
Wow. Go. Right now. Literally go phnx.com.
July 3rd.
Click the little events tab. I don't think it's labeled as Shane's birthday extravaganza.
It should be, though.
It should be, but I think it's listed as Diamondback.
Are we going to get
party.
really drunk at Big 12 Media Day? Should we just
Not
bring a big
at-
bottle?
at-
I think Big 12 Media Day, we bring a whiskey bottle on air and we just start taking swigs, talking like Brett Yormark. So, Kenny, they ended this whole media preseason poll thing.
Well, we
dude.
know that if we get Mike Gundy on, that he'll be good to drive home afterwards.
Mike Gundy be like, here are my keys. Be like, Gundy, I'm the one who's been drinking. He's like, exactly.
Hey, now.
Oh my god, Mike said it. Look, Mike said it.
Talk to me.
Mike's
I'm
gonna be like, your
40.
punishment is more podcasting.
Oh my, yeah, literally, and that would literally be
no, like
punishment.
seriously, that's exactly what he would say.
Oh my goodness. Well, look, it's not going to just be us at Big 12 Media Day. Sam Leavitt, Jordyn Tyson, Clayton Smith, Xavion Alford, CJ Fight, and Ben Coleman going to be joining Dilly Wonka.
Everybody we talked about
Frisco,
last segment for the first team
Texas.
Big 12.
Totally different than last year. I'm trying to remember the names that they had last
Smith.
year. It was Clayton and Leaf, I think, went.
Leaf was there. Clayton was there. Scat wasn't there.
No,
Scat wasn't there.
Uh-uh.
Sam wasn't there. Kenny was obviously
Kenny
there.
was there. I think that was it.
They might have just had 3.
I think they might have just had 3 last year.
Because I'm thinking about the people we talked to on air. And I think it was, I know Clayton for sure.
Clayton for sure.
And I know Kenny for sure.
Kenny for sure.
I'm pretty sure Leaf was there.
I'm pretty sure Leaf was there too, unless I'm making it up in my head.
No, I'm like, Leaf was a captain last year. I'm pretty sure Leaf was there. I don't think X was there.
I don't think X was there either.
Last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, X was there.
Was he?
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was there. He was there.
X was there
Because I
last
got a
year.
pretty cool photo talking to X. So, yeah.
Who? I think it was just 3.
It must have been just
I think
those
3 players and Kenny. And now it's here's our entire.
Now they're doubling up.
Yeah.
Now they're doubling up. And from what I've heard, okay, I cannot confirm or
You got
deny
this
this.
look in your
I
eyes.
think I heard this while I was doing other things. They've got like custom tailor-made suits this year. Not just like ASU polos this
we
year.
need some custom tailor.
This is like they're rolling out some new ASU suits. So that should be pretty cool.
We also get the new jerseys tomorrow, right?
We do, I believe, get the new jerseys tomorrow.
I know what tomorrow's show's about.
Yeah.
Whole show.
Whole show jersey, even if they release the preseason team.
This
Yeah.
is what you missed about Arizona State's new jerseys.
It's going to be fun. I'm excited to see them. But yeah, ASU doing it right, doing it big. I'm sure we're gonna see Kenny's big moment blazer that he always rocks, the maroon one, at every major event. I believe he wore it at Big 12 Media Day last year. I'm pretty sure he wore it at Pac-12 Media Day the first year, and he wore it at the College Football Playoff Media Availabilities.
Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Nah, it has
Although I
appeared
don't
to
know
do him
that
good.
new contract extension though, he might be able to
He
get
might
a
be able
couple
to
more.
level that up. Level that up, man.
Okay, give me a prediction. Besides Kenny, who gives us the best soundbite?
Ooh, the best soundbite. Okay, when you say best soundbite, what do you mean?
I mean,
Like,
like
funniest
we post,
bite?
no, like we post this on socials and it.
Okay, so easy answer is X because he's like
I agree.
he is like one of the most introspective people
Yeah.
and like the most profound speakers that we've covered. But I would probably say Jordyn Tyson.
I think Jordyn Tyson tells us he's the best wide receiver in college football.
I don't know if he tells you that. He's humble, man. He's humble.
I'm gonna make him say
I
it.
think it's gonna be Sam or Clayton, because those two have
Clayton.
those
for
two walk
sure.
around with chips on their shoulder. Like they're not afraid to tell you how it is. Now Sam does, as a quarterback, a really really good job of like keeping it buttoned up And I think he will because there's going to be so much media availability there. But I wouldn't be shocked if Clayton gave us the best bite last year.
See, here's the thing, though. Like, you're right, but they're going to be going like table to table. They're going to be all buttoned up. It's going to be, and they're going to come to us,
and we're going to have all the buttons off.
No buttons. They're going to say, take your buttons.
No buttons. Cowboy hat on.
We are the buttonless show.
Yeah.
Okay. They're going to come to us, and we're going to get them
great band name.
We're going to get them so relaxed that Sam Leavitt's going to be like, yeah, I'm better than Sawyer Robertson. What are you talking about? First team All-Big 12.
I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. I think you should ask him that straight up. You think you're better than Sawyer Robertson?
I'll be like, all right, Sam, so let's play a little game here. I'm going to name quarterbacks, and you tell me you're better than them or not.
I think, and this is just speaking out loud here, chat, let us know what you think. I think, so I'm planning on bringing a cowboy hat. I feel like I have to bring a cowboy hat.
I feel like we should both have cowboy hats.
Debating shaving into a mustache again. Ooh. We'll see. Last time I was in Texas with a mustache, we came home champions, so I may do that. But I think there's a game that it's on some late night television where it's like truth or lie or something, or true or false, and where it's just literally a stick that's green true and one that's if it's not true, red stick. We'll give the players and we'll ask them just like ridiculously like hard question, like Jordyn Tyson, are you the best wide receiver in college football?
I think we
true or false.
You know how like people are like there's like these jokes where you ask a series of questions and it leads them up to like say that they're. I think we just like be like, red is better than blue. It's like colors, or like, like
they get progressively
Mexican
more
food
ridiculous.
is the best food, right? Oh, Tempe is the best place to play football. You're better than Sawyer Robertson. And then just like
quick flip.
And then just like wait, and then if they don't answer, you're like,
Yeah. I think we could. I'm here for it. I think that'd be a fun game. Who are you looking forward to talking to most when we get to Frisco?
CJ Fight.
Raider.
Oh, you mean like non-ASU?
I mean, it doesn't. I think it doesn't have to be ASU related.
I think CJ Fight underrated might give us that bite.
You think CJ Fight might?
CJ Fight might say something fun.
I hope he brings an action figure. I hope he brings one of his action figures. That
we should bring him an action figure
of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
We should trade check out this podcasting action figure. Mine is just a mouth. My mouth just opens and closes.
I want a Deli Man action figure. I think that would go.
With
that would
a
go
bell,
pretty hard.
Like a bell accessory?
Dude, like a Funko Pop. I mean, it's free on Monday, but like a Funko Pop of Shane with a mustache would be so awesome.
Shane would be a great Funko Pop.
What would my accessories be?
It would be a bell and a computer.
No, it would be
a sandwich. Deli Man.
No, you gotta do something with a tequila soda. Would be an accessory.
Great. I'm an alcoholic apparently.
And then oh man, maybe like a Game Boy or something. Oh, dude, because he loves games. He loves games. I could see that 100% being his accessories.
Boys
I think your accessories would be like suntan lotion.
No,
and
no, that would imply that I go outside. Okay, no, my accessory would be a microphone for sure, and free ad Monday and Olipop.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, here we are. Sharon says I got to see Pistol Pete again.
You gotta have the standoff.
We'll have the stand. I mean, I think it got misconstrued. I didn't think that he was pointing it at me. I was just kind of surprised that he brought out a weapon and just was willy-nilly throwing that thing out there.
I mean, when you're a professional, you know how to use it.
We'll see. I'm down to run it back if Pistol Pete is. Just leave the ammunition at home, Pistol. And then, we got a comment that said non-ASU is a good question.
I want to talk to Mike Gundy.
You want to talk to Gundy?
Yeah, I want to talk to Gundy.
What do you want to talk to Gundy about?
Just life.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I want to talk to Mike Gundy about life too.
Kick back. Here's a whiskey.
Yeah, I want to talk to Mike about life too.
Let's just talk about life.
Yeah, I'm down. Doug Tamaro is always a good one
for sure.
I think non-ASU for me, maybe Matt Campbell as far as coaches or Rocco Becht. I'd love to get inside Rocco's head and just see what he's thinking about all of the hype around this conference that seems to be like minus him. I think
he's being skipped over a little
that would certainly be fun. But all of it, I don't know if it'll be as fun as the video game we're going to tell you about on the other side of our final break.
You know, Sharon says, I'm going to get us banned from Media Day.
You might.
Well, guess what? It'll be fine because I'm going to say, hey, don't kick me out. Did you know that you still have a couple of weeks to get double the amount of points at Mountain America Credit Union? They'll say, welcome back in. Yeah. Thank you for telling us about such a great deal. And they can become one of the more than 1 million members that Mountain America Credit Union is dedicated to helping throughout their 100 branches throughout the West. And right now until July 31st, it seems like a long time away. We're almost in July. We are less than about a month away.
Flying by.
Get double points on their rewards credit card purchases. You can use that on everything. Perfect for gas, groceries, travel, home projects, cowboy hats, whatever it is that you're buying. You get double the amount of points, easy way to stretch your dollar, and then you can redeem those points for rewards like travel rebates, gift cards, and event tickets. You're going to need to buy that plane ticket back to the college football playoff game. You're going to need to do that with your rewards for Mountain America Credit Union. It's a limited time only. Take advantage of it while you can. Details at macu.com/double. Loans on approved credit. Offers can change or be withdrawn at any time. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions apply.
Look, he just told you how you can stretch your dollar. I'm going to tell you where you can double your dollar. That's at Gila River Resorts and Casinos, of course, with all of the slot machines and all the games they have on the actual gaming floor. But maybe you want to spend that dollar on a steak dinner. Well, you could do that over at Wild Horse Pass as well. Maybe you want to throw your buck at a sporting event. Well, you can do that over at the Sportsbook as well. I know Derek Montilla of the PHNX Diamondback show, he actually stayed the night at Wild Horse Pass just last night, had a phenomenal experience. They put him in, I believe, the 7th floor overlooking the pool. He had himself one.
They put me on the 8th. No big deal.
Oh, he's still overlooking the pool?
Yeah, no big deal.
There you go. Like, come on, guys. Go have yourself a staycation. It's always a blast at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Again, you can win money. You can have a great time with food. You can chill by the pool. You can do it all, and you do you at Gila River Resorts Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details.
Random note.
Yeah.
There's a corner on the Rice Owls.
Stop it.
Whose name is Mobility.
That's great. That's great.
I mean, Avela, his brother.
Yeah.
Way better.
Avela and Mo.
Availability.
Mo's got. I got you. Thank you. You didn't need to walk me there. Mo is better than Avela.
You think so?
Yeah,
I take
100%.
Avela over Mo every day of the week. Yeah.
No.
Availability is the best ability.
I hate you.
Thanks, man.
Well, look, EA Sports college basketball, that's not going to be available for some time. 2028, EA Sports putting out this tweet this morning saying, bring the madness, let's run it back. Hashtag college basketball, hashtag it's in the game. And first, it was EA Sports college football, and now EA Sports college basketball. Rubus, are you ready to send Arizona State through March?
Somebody's going to have to.
Somebody's going to.
I guess it's going to be me. What happens first? first?
Oh, God, here we go.
We play a game in the tournament with ASU on this game, or ASU makes the tournament?
In real life?
In real life.
I think they make the tournament.
You think they make the tournament before
2028?
Before 2028.
Or in 2025.
I'm aware.
Which means you got a 2026 tournament, 2027 tournament, and a 2028 tournament.
Right.
I think one of that happens. I think that happens. I think they make the tournament.
Deli Man?
Shane's thinking about it, though.
Well, you only have this year and next year, right?
Well, it probably comes out summer.
I would imagine.
Leading up to the 28-29 season, I would imagine.
Yeah, so,
they might drop it during March Madness, though.
So
I don't know.
There's no tournament in 2025 because it already happened. So you have 2026,
2027,
and 2027.
I think it's after the 2028 tournament. I think.
Okay.
I think they drop it in the summer after the 28 tournament, leading into the 28-29 season.
So we're just counting these next two tourneys.
I think 3 tourneys.
Okay, 3 tourneys. I think they make one of the next 3 NCAA tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
Shane's face.
I don't know, man.
I wish you guys could have seen the Deli Man's face on
I
that
don't
one.
know, man. Here's the thing.
Me? I'm the one being optimistic.
That
here
is
about
kind of
ASU
crazy.
basketball.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah, because
Think about it. Either Bobby is around because he gets an extension, which actually means that they probably made the tournament this year. So
they're gonna have to make more than just the tournament to keep Bobby around.
But and that's what I'm saying is they just make tournament, right? And then if not, which is more likely than not that he's gone, then they have a brand new coach. They're revamping. That means you make the tournament in a couple of years in the Big 12.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't have to it's not like football where it's rebuilds take a while.
I hope so.
This is, think about it. How many of these teams lost all of their players and got a bunch of new ones?
What's
ASU
done
being
first,
one of them.
DFA renovations or this game?
This game is done first, right?
Oh, man.
Yeah, this game is 100% done before those DFA renovations. Guys, who are you most excited to use outside of ASU in this game?
I hope they have historic teams. I think that would be cool.
That would be fun.
Let me go ahead and pull up the 2028 recruiting classes.
I'll take LeBron James's third kid.
No, I'm talking more just like environment, like of like the arenas and all that type of stuff. Because I think it's gonna feel better than it is some of the college football. No.
DFA.
It's gonna look so nasty, gross. I hope they get the weird lighting right.
Yeah, I hope they do like player intros. What I want to see, because they don't do it in 2K. They don't do player intros.
Yeah, they do.
Not in 2K25. They don't.
I'm a broke boy. I saw 2K24.
Okay, well in 24 they do. They don't in 25. I think that would be a lot of fun if they do player intros.
In the chat, EJ says, "I'm gutting U of A and giving them a winless season."
That'd be fun. I'll be here for that.
I'm gonna.
The real question is Tommy Lloyd still with Arizona when that game comes out.
Probably.
I don't know. At that point, he lost Koa Pete to ASU, so that's going to be
still standing on that one. Huh?
Koa Pete will be.
What happens when he's in the league?
He'll still have eligibility left. He'll coach one way or another.
He'll coach at ASU.
Well, dude, it's going to be like 2048, and I'm going to be texting you like, dude, Koa Pete is an assistant coach for Arizona State.
Don't text me at 2048. Just call me.
Oh, okay. I thought you said just don't contact me.
Yeah. 2048. I mean, we're not gonna. There's gonna be implants in our head where we could just communicate with each other.
Totri.
Yeah.
Koa Pete's finally a Sun
Actually,
Devil.
that would be horrible if I had an implant in my head and it was just you.
That's what comes with Erik Ruby Plus. For $2,500 a month, you can implant my voice into your head.
I'm A-okay on that front. I don't need that. I think in terms of like other teams, that'll be fun to play with. Obviously, Duke is going to be up there. Kansas is going to be up there. I think Houston is going to be a fun team. Just the environment. Again, all the Big 12 schools.
FGCU.
Yeah. FGCU.
Yeah.
GCU maybe. Even would be a fun team to play with in the game. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Do you guys think it's going to be a better game? Like, are you going to have more fun, you think, playing this game than you did when NCAA football came out? I know you're not a football guy.
Well, I mean, like, I'm probably not going to play either at that point. You know, I don't know. I'm still playing 2K24. So, like, I'm behind the eight ball a lot of things.
What about you, Shane? You going to have more fun playing college basketball, you think? Because you're a college basketball sicko.
College basketball, those games are like my favorite. I still boot it up sometimes.
I think the college basketball game will be a lot of fun.
I saw a great tweet that was, what's his name? Andre Carbello, the dude who was really good at Illinois when he was a freshman, and then he transferred to St. John's, I think, and then he transferred to like southeastern Missouri. Something insane. He really just kind of threw away his career because of his issues on and off the court, mostly off the court. But he was suspended last year, and then he left the team. And he walked. One of the games that he was suspended for, he walked in a suit. And then the tweet was me in my second year of my second month of the NIL holdout and with my bye player.
NIL is gonna go crazy in that game.
Yeah,
that's gonna be something to watch. Like I think there are a lot of people that love the fact that these college games are back.
Why not? We need some more sports video games in the ether. Bring back NBA Street, bring back NFL Street. Like, let's run back.
Somebody wanted EA Sports College Baseball. Yeah, nobody wants that game. I'm sorry. I saw a tweet that said, "We want this game." No, we don't.
No, we don't.
I don't want that game.
I played one when I was like 13. I hated it.
Yeah,
because college baseball.
I'm not a big fan of like baseball video games in general.
I'm just not a fan of baseball.
Unless it's the baseball game that you were playing in the
Super Mega Baseball.
Yeah.
Dude. That's fun.
All day.
Or Mario Baseball.
Yep.
That is elite. That's an elite video.
Super Mario Sluggers is elite.
Yeah.
Baseball games are good.
Yeah.
Baseball games are good.
Super Mario Strikers, underrated game.
That's great.
Underrated?
Game. It's not underrated. I think it's properly rated. It's a great game.
It's like bread, properly rated.
Yeah. No, don't even get me started. Guys, that is good.
Toast and butter, Totri, your thoughts.
That's going to do it for today's episode of the PHNX Sun Devil Show. We appreciate everybody hopping in on a Monday or listening on your drive home, regardless. Wherever you're watching, we love you.
Oh my God, breaking news. Johnny Juzang is being waived.
Hit the like button.
That happen
hit the subscribe button. A 5-star
Breaking
review.
news, Chris Haynes says that DeAndre Ayton is likely to join the Lakers.
If you enjoyed today's content, give us a follow at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You can follow Old Dog Legs here at Erik Ruby. That's Erik with a K. You can follow the Deli Man at Shane Dief.
As always.
And we'll see you guys on Tuesday. In the meantime, go Devils. Peace. I hate you.
We all silly like the mayor.